energy's electric, can you feel it? My energy's electric, I can feel it. My energy's electric, can you feel it? My energy's electric, I can feel it. It's what I've been missing my whole life. This is what I've been missing my whole life. This is what I've been missing my whole life. This is what I've been missing my whole life. Whole life, whole life, whoa, we got them good vibes.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of YouTube. Did I do that right? Hugh? I'm not sure. Today, and I'm excited. I'm a little bit more excitable today because of who our guest is. All the way from, now born in Oklahoma, but I believe not necessarily in Oklahoma anymore, but born there, is pop artist brand new on the scene this year, Gwyn Love. Gwyn, welcome to YouTube.
Hi, thanks for having me.
And kind of as I mentioned, you. First of all, you're not in Oklahoma now, are you?
I am.
You are in Oklahoma.
Yeah.
I think you were somewhere else a few months ago, probably at the beginning of COVID.
Yes.
And I think that's what made me thought that maybe you were still there.
Yeah.
But you're born and raised in Oklahoma, correct?
Yes. Yes.
Southern girl.
Exactly. I'm moving to Cali though. That's the goal soon, hopefully.
California?
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot happening in California. A lot.
Yeah.
There's music.
No. Yeah.
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 So,
but I feel like I'll fit in more there. Like, it's weird here. I don't know.
Well, I think too, and I'm not to speak for you, but I can imagine that being an artist who, for those who are seeing this and are unfamiliar or only slightly familiar with who you are, brand new EP out at first blush with it's three singles that were off of it that you released, correct, right?
Yeah.
Good Vibes, Never Have to See You Again, and I'm missing the third. Better Than You, that's what it is. And brand new EP, and this is your first essential debut EP.
Yeah, it is.
How are you feeling about it?
I'm really excited. Like, I've had these songs recorded for like a year now and just been waiting to get them out because I've been writing other stuff, so it feels sort of like old to me, the EP, because I wrote it so long ago. So I was ready to get it out so I could put like newer stuff out, but it's good to have something out, like I can have Alexa play my songs and I'm like, I don't know, I feel so special. It's great.
How bizarre is that? It's like, Alexa, could you just kind of like ring up my EP, please?
It's so cool. I'm like, oh.
But I guess that kind of, brings it back to, being in Oklahoma and you're in a smaller part. You're not in Oklahoma City, right?
I am now. Yeah.
You are now.
But I didn't grow up here. Yeah.
No, you grew up in a smaller area, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, growing up in a smaller area and now, at the place where, in a time where you're working with different like PR outlets who are putting your music out and management companies and, having to go here and there, the smallness of it probably seems so weird because you've been to a lot of places. But also, and I think that this happens to us as we get older, that the smallness becomes kind of like, okay, that's where I go to seek refuge sometimes.
Yeah.
When everything's kind of crashing down.
Yeah, for sure.
The EP is out. The singles have been out. Videos have been out. It's feeling good. It's moving along, but I totally get what you're saying because so many artists have said the exact same thing. It's like, I wrote these so long ago and I've got so much new I wanted to kind of dive into, but you gotta let the whole machine kind of have its time to kind of work out.
Yeah.
What's been what's been the biggest surprise with everything, all the releases and the EP?
Biggest surprise. I was honestly surprised with how much people reached out to me and like told me they liked my stuff. Like I had very low expectations because I didn't want my heart to break if no one like said anything nice, or like I didn't get a lot of streams or anything, but I was pleasantly surprised with how people responded to it. Like I got a lot of support and it made me feel really good.
I think you're one of those artists that has, I don't want to say it's easy because it's never easy, but I think you have an automatic, natural kind of way to build a good, strong fan base. You're young, you're super positive. Everything that, you know, kind of comes out with you and from you is really like energized. And that's one of the first things that I noticed right from the get-go with you as an artist, is that you are you, and you are so relatable, I think, to your younger audience and just to the everyday average person. I think that you're incredibly relatable, and I think that they just take to that. And I think that's why they probably feel that they can reach out. I mean, there's artists who I think always want to feel relatable and always want to feel approachable, but maybe just the demeanor or how things are, you know, how it's put out there, maybe doesn't make us as an audience feel like, oh, I don't know if I could just, you know, hey, how are you?
Yeah.
But with you, I would totally believe that you'd be like on the other end, kind of be like, hey, what's going on? Because you kind of exude that.
That's who I want to be. So I'm glad that I put that energy out there. That's what I aspire to be. I want to be approachable and I want people to talk to me. I love it. I love people and talking to people. Yeah.
And I think we're in that world now. I mean, now, you know, being in, and I can't believe here we are 10 or so months later or whatever it is, that we're still talking about pandemic and going back into, you know, lockdowns and this sort of thing. But we are, and it's, if anything, I think that having artists like you out there for a lot of young people who are probably really feeling the pressure of it. I think, you know, for some of us who have been, you know, working a lot and you're constantly going to the office, it's been adjustment for us to be able to kind of be like, okay, how am I going to do this at home? But for a lot of young people, their day-to-day is involving their peers, going to school, going and, you know, extracurricular outside of school kind of activities, to take that all away and say, you must stay in a place that you don't spend a lot of time, is probably like, it's just a lot for them. So I think you are an artist that really is, I think, helps bring them out of that and probably keeps their spirits up, because the music is fun, it's good, and the vibe that comes off of it, and just you, I think that you probably, they just fall in love with you.
Thank you so much. I've been trying to put out good vibes. That's the goal. That's the goal. We need them real bad right now.
Well, you wrote a song called Good Vibes. So
I did. Before I even knew any of this would happen. So
when you look back at the EP and the songs, are you happy with kind of how, first, let me ask you this, because you have a remix on the EP by Latch. How did that come about? Because you know what, for those of us who are not in the know, it's kind of like Latch is a pretty, you know, well-known name. It's kind of like, how'd that happen?
Well, he signed to the same label as me, and I listened to some of his stuff, and they asked me if I was interested in him doing a remix, and we collabed and we made this amazing remix. I love it so much, honestly. I like it better than the original, but probably because I'm just like tired of the original, and it's like makes it new and dancey and like, I don't know. I love it. Latch is amazing, and I have done a lot of work with him. I actually recorded like a whole album with him that'll be out in 2021.
That's
so,
wow.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
And I guess what I will say to that is that both of those songs start off with the same lyrics, but they start off very, very differently.
Yeah.
In the original, you get almost kind of like, kind of gritting your teeth, almost kind of like, ha, 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 kind of thing, right? with the remix, it becomes almost a little bit more sarcastic. So it takes it to a different place, and I think that's great. I think that it completely changes the tone of the song.
From both, for sure. Yeah.
So congratulations on that, because I think that's a little bit hard to do sometimes. Sometimes you get a song and then it's a remix because it's been changed around and there's new music in it, but the essence is pretty much the same. It's kind of telling the same story. Whereas with the Latch remix, it's like, this is a little bit of a different story now.
Yeah, for sure.
I dig that. So that's cool. That's interesting, because you just never know like how these things happen. So being on the same label, obviously a bonus and a plus.
For sure. Yes.
Looking back at the how long ago did you start writing the songs for this EP?
Early 2019, but I wrote one of them, Better Than You, when I was 14. And it just like kept with me throughout the years because it was like my favorite song I had ever written. And I changed a little bit for the EP because it didn't really fit the situation I was in that at the time. But the rest of them I wrote 2019. Yeah.
So that's a fair time away. I mean, you've been through a lot since then.
Yeah.
So your life has changed, and I mean, the songs are good, but they're coming from a completely different point of view and place than you are right now.
Yeah, it's like a different person.
Where do you want to go next, do you think? Now, you said you have an album that you did with Latch. Is that your album?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, you've been busy.
He just produced it, so like I wrote all the songs and then he was the producer on it, but they're amazing and I'm really excited about them. And I've also been, I guess, working on my second album now, since that one's already finished, and we're getting them all mixed and mastered right now, and I'm going to Cali in January to record music videos for them, and so that'll be out in 2021, and I'm working on my second now, I guess.
Yeah, that's awesome. This EP, I guess, is kind of like the introduction. And, at first blush, what does this title signify?
So I thought it was really cute because it's just like me experiencing the city for the first time, and like life on my own for the first time, away from my family and like my small town where no one really understood me. And yeah, it was just like me experiencing the city for the first time, which is what At First Blush means. But I like the wording of it because it like makes you think of a color, blush, and like I'm all about colors, and so I was like, this is perfect. I love it.
You were totally all about colors, and one of your colors that is one of my favorite that you use, and that is kind of like that teal aqua blue, which to me is a color that just should be involved in everything. To me, it's like such energy from that color.
I agree. Yes.
So the new album, is it a full album or is it another EP, or is it kind of like a mix master? I don't know what to call them anymore, and I say this all the time because an EP, an album, it's a project, I guess.
Yeah. Well, an EP is like a mini album, is how I think about it anyway. And then like an album is like 10, 12 songs, right? And like an EP would be like 5, 6, 7. That's how I see it. I don't know. But yeah, it's an album. It's
cool.
Like 10 songs, I think. Yeah.
What can we expect from it? So the EP, knowing that you started writing when you were 14, and just recently, but still a lot has changed. What direction are you going in? What should people expect?
Well, there's some good vibes and bops that make you want to dance. There's also some sad stuff. I'm letting my sadness shine through a little because I want to be real about that too. Like I am positive energy, but I also do like struggle with mental illness and stuff like that. And I wrote some songs about that, which everyone loves a sad bop, right? And then also I got some like housey songs that are like, ooh, they're so good. Me and Latch were like a great pair. I'm so excited for you guys to hear them.
I think you and house music would work really well.
It works good.
Because
Just right.
you are like fire. You're all over the place, and I think with a good bass like house kind of line, kind of going through that, I can totally see that with you.
Yeah, you ain't ready.
I'm never ready. I'm old now. I mean, it's I guess it's kind of a bit of a challenge. Maybe it's not for you because you've been releasing in one of the worst times for artists to be releasing.
Yeah.
So it may not be as challenging, or at least you don't have to shift as many gears maybe, but it must still feel at least a bit challenging to plan a release or to be looking at a release not knowing what's going to happen, what's going to be available, I guess, and how to roll it out. So, I mean, we are going to be online quite a bit going into 2021 and throughout 2021. With your team, I guess, has that been a sit down to kind of say, okay, knowing that that's going to happen, we have to plan for virtual pieces and, you know, different kinds of elements to do the release and to kind of get the album out there?
So they kind of prepped me for my EP release. It was kind of unfortunate because it was like 3 days before like the election. And so we couldn't even do like ads or anything like that because of the election. Like they put restrictions on all of that. And so they like prepared me for that. They were like, you may not get a lot right now. Like there may not be a lot of streams and stuff. So prepare yourself for that. But like it's picking up now. Like after that's like gone out of the way. But this year has been really weird with music. I feel like releasing and stuff. And like, I don't know.
That's a challenge. I mean, even in a normal year, to be releasing, you know, a few days before a national, like a major election is challenging. You know, it can go both ways in a normal year. This year, there was such a focus there that, you know, it is unfortunate, but I guess the bright part of it is it's out beforehand and afterwards with everyone needing distraction and needing to find something and wanting to be away from news outlets. Yeah. It's good to have it already there and ready to go. It's kind of like, okay, now that you're ready, I'm over here.
And Never Have to See You Again is a great Trump leaving office song.
It's, you know, there's that as well.
It's perfect.
How do you, I mean, you're a young, you know, and you're full of life and you're vibrant and you have such a positive outlook on things and a positive energy. Do you find, and you've already mentioned, you know, as we, you know, so many of us do, you know, we struggle and we battle with just the regular mental battles and, you know, barrage that we experience. Yeah. How do you balance like yourself to keep yourself kind of grounded and, you know, how do you take care of yourself, especially now that you're in music? Like what's your go-to to kind of like center you?
So first thing, turn off my phone. Sometimes it's just too much and you just need to turn it off, go for a walk, dance in the shower, like just little things like that just help me feel like myself and like whole within myself, because those are things that I've enjoyed doing since I was a kid, you know, like just being in nature or like reading a book or cooking dinner, like, and being away from my phone is very important, but it's also important to interact with people, but you also need those breaks, like, and you have to have like the self-control to be like, all right, I need to not be on my phone today because I just need to focus on loving me today, you know?
Yeah, no, listen, believe me, one of the best things I ever did in my life was I got rid of all notifications on my phone. The only thing I get is if a text message comes through, and the change that it made in my life and me personally, because you just don't notice it happening when you're constantly, you know, you hear a buzz or you hear a ding or whatnot. our body's reacting to it, and mentally and physically, and you don't realize it until you give yourself that break and you give yourself that room to breathe a bit.
Yeah, for sure. I turned all my notifications off too. Great decision.
It's important. And if anyone's watching this, if you think that you need those notifications on, you don't.
No.
You don't. And with every app that comes out, there's more notifications. So how do you feel, again, kind of going back to that and grounding yourself, how has the music industry and your time in it now been for you? What have been the challenges for you, and what's been the things that have excited you the most?
Well, the challenges are like comparing myself to other people, which is never a good idea. Don't do that. So I have to like, no, you are your own person. We are all different. So that is a challenge, but I worked through it. And you said, what am I excited about?
What's been exciting for you? Like, you know, I can imagine that it can be overwhelming, being introduced to so many new things and people and you know, the industry in itself from different aspects. So what's been the thing that the takeaway, I guess the most exciting thing for you that you, what's been the big excitement? What's been the biggest thing that's excited you? My God, apparently I can't even formulate a question.
Well, I met my favorite bands since I was like 12. And I got to go to their music video because they're signed to the same label as me, Marianas Trench. And getting to like see one of my idols was just like, wow, you know, like you're a real person too, you know, like we're all just real people doing what we love. Like, I don't know. It was amazing. And going to Canada, like going to a whole new country by myself, like what? It was like a culture shock because like I don't travel a lot, or I hadn't until then, and then I was like, whoa, you know.
But we're good people. We're
I love my Canadian family.
We're warm and welcoming people.
Yes, I know, I love it. I felt so welcomed. I felt like at home, and I miss it so much. I haven't been back like since the beginning because of COVID and everything, and I can't wait to go back.
I believe that you'll kind of, I feel like it won't surprise me, and it's interesting because pandemia, whatever we're calling it, and COVID has really changed what probably may have happened naturally. So it's hard to say what would happen, you know, if you did have the ability to kind of move around and where you probably had things planned out a little bit. But I truly believe that it will not surprise me in the very least that in our country that you will probably blow up, like you will probably become incredibly popular here, simply because, I mean, I'm not that I know everything in this country, but I do know kind of what takes off, and some of the things that really kind of connect here is that, like, I keep talking about that energy, but it really is how you put yourself out there. And I think that, especially for our youth, they connect with that so strongly.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, if I'm famous in Canada and not in the US, that's fine with me. I'll just go to Canada. It's cool.
You'll become our Gwyn.
Okay, I'll be your Gwyn.
So yeah, the new album coming out. Timeline, do we know?
Don't know. We
don't know yet.
We're getting it mixed and mastered. I do have that music video scheduled, but we don't know like when we're gonna be putting it out. But I do know it will be in 2021.
If you were gonna jump into a collaboration with anybody out there in the music industry, and they don't have to be on your label, who's the first door you're gonna stop at and say, hey, let's do something together?
Love. Lauv. I don't know if you've heard of him, but I love him. I think we can make some pretty chill poppy bops. Yeah.
I enjoy what he does, and I think that, and if you somehow find your way to watch this episode of QTube, first of all, I'll just go over there and pass out right now. Second of all, you should take this opportunity to connect the two of you together, because I think that would be a real incredible Oh my God, that would be, have you seen the video with him and Conan Gray?
Yes. Oh my
So,
gosh.
you know what I mean?
I love that song too. Oh my gosh. I love it so much.
Like, that's just, I think that's what I always get from him. And he is such a unique artist that's out there right now, because he's kind of doing his own thing more so than anybody else is. He's not really, you know, you don't see song after song after song after song after song, and all of a sudden he'll just have stuff out and you don't even realize that he's putting stuff out. And then his Instagram, when he does his Instagram lives, he's such an open individual. It's kind of entrancing to sit and watch him and listen to him just talk about things.
Yeah, for sure.
That's not a bad artist to want to be able to kind of connect with and maybe pattern yourself off of, or be like.
We love Love.
So what happens next? What's coming next? The EP is out. Is it just more promo kind of like into the new year till the new album is ready? Are you looking at doing, have you done any lives? Like, have you only done any live performances?
I have really bad internet.
Right.
And I'm kind of poor because of all this COVID stuff. But I am looking to, I think I'm going to do a live stream in February with my record label, like Fellow, and I'll do an acoustic version of Better Than You. That's the plan. But yeah, I'm going to have to get better internet.
It's interesting because everybody has basically sat where they started in COVID, and for some artists, it's the I've heard the same story. It's kind of like, yeah, well, I kind of went home because I wasn't going to stay and not, because we didn't know how long it was going to be. So I went home, and I don't really have access to the things that I would maybe normally have access to. So it's like, I'm making do.
Yeah. It's been crazy.
So we're looking at 10 songs roughly around on the new album, and a mixed bag of different things. I'm excited by that. Where do you hope, I guess, and again, I won't ask that because that's really hard because we don't know what's going to happen. But what I will say is, with your fan base, how do you hope to kind of, I guess, maybe stay connected with them?
Like through the quarantine and stuff?
Yeah. If this keeps on this way, what do you see or how best do you enjoy, I guess, connecting with them? Because it's good for them to know.
Yeah. Well, I enjoy just like them reaching out on Instagram and stuff like that. Like, I talk to a lot of them that way. I guess I probably should like do some live streams just talking to them. I haven't really thought about that, but I should, honestly.
Do you know what? If you're ever interested, we can do a live stream together, and we can jump on there and just kind of shoot the bull.
Okay. I'm down. Yeah.
Some people are really good at doing live streams on their own. Like, I can talk in a room by myself, and if people want to listen to me, that's great. But I can do that. Like, but not everybody feels comfortable doing it. They need somebody to kind of banter with and that kind of thing.
I think that's what I need. I don't.
Yeah.
I think that's what I need. Yes. So I would appreciate that. That would be great. Sounds like a good time.
We're down with it. We'll make it happen.
We are down.
Going back to your just to kind of like touch on it a bit with your music that's on the EP, where do you think the biggest change has been for you as a writer since writing those?
Well, I think that my writing was a little more like simplistic in that first EP, and it's a little more interesting, I think, in my newer stuff because I'm more comfortable with it, obviously. And also I'm like exploring that like dancey side, like the housey, like I'm trying to like ease into that a little bit because like, I don't know, I love to make people dance. I love to dance. Everyone's happy when they dance in. So yeah. I don't know. I'm excited about it.
You need to have a fan dance party, and just basically have just a Zoom, and like invite people to come to a Zoom chat, and they can kind of come in and just have a dance party.
Yes, a virtual rave. Yes,
A virtual rave. There you go. Everybody, bring your glow sticks. You know, get some cool lighting. Put on your favorite music. They can listen to your music, or they can listen to their own music. But everybody just have a mega dance party, a fan dance party.
I love that idea. Yes,
it's yours. You get to take it and run away.
All right, it's mine. I will do that.
Awesome. Well, listen, this has been awesome. This has been fantastic. I think that, you know, there's so much, again, being a young artist, there's so much more for us to find out about you and explore. And as you release more music, I just can see so much kind of, you know, opening up for you. So I think that's like, it's incredibly exciting.
Thank you. I'm excited.
Before we go, I do want to say, folks who are watching, remember, this is Gwyn Love. Then the EP is out right now. It is called At First Blush. You should run out. You should get it. You should stream it. You should share it. You should love it, live it, and do all the things with it.
Yes.
And follow Gwyn online.
Gwyn Love Music.
There we go. And you're on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram.
Yep.
Are you on TikTok?
Yep.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Do you enjoy TikTok?
Sometimes.
Yeah. I'm fearful of it.
I am a little fearful. It's a little confusing to me, but I do like to dance, so I'll put up some funny videos sometimes, but yeah.
All right. It's another way for fans to connect, I guess.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, listen, thank you so much for joining me today. I'm excited. I'm excited for this new album, and I can't wait to hear it, especially after, you know, being exposed to what you and Latch did with the remix.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Gwyn.
Yeah, thank you for having me.